Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Carpo. Don't mind my morning face. I just woke up and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go get ready to go to this cabin. We're gonna have a cabin tonight, up in the woods, so it should be fun. But I can't sleep very well when I have something going on the next day, and it's funny because I got up this morning. I didn't get up that early. It was like 6:30, but I had a couple of messages in my inbox, and I still get messages in my YouTube inbox from random people that don't want to sign up for Google Plus. And it's funny, kind of some of the private messages I get for certain videos, and but in general, I get about three or four a day, not that many, but still I go in and I check them whenever I can. And I got one this morning from a guy. I think it was Matt, one of my subs, and he was asking a question about careers, and he said something to the effect of, "Hey, I resonate with your videos," or "I'm a lot like you," or something, and that I'm graduating high school or college, and I'm gonna go off into the corporate world, and I don't know what to. I was wondering if you could speak about jobs or the job you have. Now, I wasn't sure what you were talking about, bro. I rarely answer those types of requests because I have a lot of people request me to make particular videos, but if my heart's not into it, I can't really just make myself think about these things. It's what's going through my head at the time. That's why I do it. But on this subject, I just had to say, I don't know. I don't know shit, dude. I don't know anything about jobs. I don't know anything about careers. I don't know anything about career choices. Because what you'd said in your comment was that you basically love, life, liberty, happiness, caring, compassion, but you're leaving college and you're wondering how to get into the corporate world in a place that, dude, I don't know. Dude, that's a really tough one. And this is, I think, you're not the only one. This is the thing that I think a lot of younger generation faces. Kids who are in college now or leaving college who have developed a sense of value through their college and high school experience, who thought they knew what they wanted perhaps, but then at the end they think, well, this, I've had this training for this particular field, but this field is endangering Earth or humans or animals, you know what I mean? For example, the guy that goes and works and learns engineering and learns genetics, and then he ends up working for Monsanto, and it's like, that's a really tough subject, and I don't know what to say. I think that each individual really has to cover that on his own time and learn what is important. But if a person has strong values and they're trying to join the corporate world, I really don't know if it can be done. I know it can be done, but I don't know if it can be done without joining the cutthroat masses, because it goes back to the alpha male video I made. If you step up into the corporate world and you're not playing alpha male, you're going to be kicked down on your ass. I mean, people are just going to laugh at you, and that's why I've avoided corporate world. I would never go into a business unless I had to, that was larger than, say, maybe 100 employees, or even less. I prefer like 10 employees, because I feel like there's more focus on individuality there. You're not just a number, but somebody's got to take these jobs, and the corporate jobs aren't going to just disappear. And I'm not saying that a person should have so much integrity that they just don't seek out these jobs, because I'm a realist, man. This is the world we live in. People need to make a living. And it's unfortunate that we have to make it the way we do sometimes. My personal approach, if you were to ask me really what would I do, I would abandon probably everything I'd worked towards. I've done it before in a lot of cases if I couldn't get a job that was making a difference, because my principles at this point in my life, as a carpenter, in my job, I try to find employees that, co-workers, or when I was working for myself, I wanted to have employees, but I could never find people that were as dedicated to quality work as I was, and dedicated to honesty. It seemed like a lot of these carpenters and other contractors would outbid me because they wanted to make a buck. This happened to me all the time. I'd get outbid because I refused to drop down to the level of saying I'll do this for $10 and then end up having to do a shitty job. And I think that that's really a key to job success there, is to remember that never lower your standards to make a buck. And if that's something that has to happen in your line of work, honestly, the only thing I could say, I can't tell any individual what to do with their jobs. I would say, but if your line of work is not have integrity and it's not and it's taking away from people in any way, harming people, you got to quit. You've got to leave that job. If you're working for a company that is destroying the environment, you got to get out of that. I don't buy the oil worker that just says, "Well, I'm just doing my job." That worked 50 years ago, but every person has grown up with the education available of what's going on around them today. So anybody who's right now trying to say get into this or that market that hasn't done the research on it, I don't know what to say, because Google's right there in front of you. I was thinking about it. I get asked some funny questions and I'm like, dude, Google's right there. I have Google block. But I don't know what to say about the jobs. That's a really tough situation. So you have to follow your own heart and go with what works for you. So I'll keep these short because I go on too long. Namaste.